I uh I've been talking to somebody for the past fucking it's 7:33 a.m. I've been talking to somebody for the past 9 hours. My brain is going right now, dude. Like I gotta fucking I'm probably gonna take this audio and put it over something else, like gameplay of something cool and exciting, but cool and exciting and new and unique that's never been posted on the internet before. I love talking to people about like how they make money, like how they make like side money, like not like the main, like yeah I go I'm I fucking I work at Burger King. I take 8 shifts a month and I fucking pick my asshole. No, I like listening to like people like their side stuff, like how you make money on the side. Like me, I tie flies. You tie like the first time I did it, it was like weird. It was like you do it and then you sit on it. It's like, oh, it's a cool little thing I did, but I don't see any opportunities I'm gonna get to really go fly fishing in the near future. And then you sell one or two, and once you make like a good batch and you sell like 90% of it, you realize that you're getting like $70 per hour on your time. And it's like, oh wait, holy shit, is this like viable? Is this real? It's one of those things where it's 90% technique and 10% materials. And by 10% materials, I mean it's 10% like actually having the shit, but not 10%. Oh, I gotta buy the most exotic, fucking strings and feathers. No, you don't. Like you can buy like plastic feathers and make a good fly if you have the good technique. You get a really good view of the fly fishing community when you make when you sell them flies. You get the old you get like boomers. Anyway, there's boomers and everything. There's boomers in every activity that exists. Don't even worry about there being boomers. Don't worry, they're there. They're there and they're gonna fucking cause you problems. So there's like guys that are like, oh, I always get live bait. I always get the live bait on the hook. I just go there and I find worms on the ground. It doesn't cost me anything. It's like, okay, you're gonna get fucking live. You're gonna get live rainbow trout eggs, dude. You're gonna get live. You're gonna go find a mayfly to stick on the end of your hook. You fucking cum? No, you won't. You need like if you actually want to do this seriously, it's fly fishing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but you bought a bunch of expensive fly fishing shit, and then you had the audacity to go look for flies that people have made and are willing to sell, and then you talk to them, it's like, oh, I just buy live bait. Like I was like, oh right, oh you could pick up worms for free. How about I give you my stuff for free? People are delusional anyway. I could talk about that. I could talk about that for 3 hours. Oh my god, people that buy like 2,000, like a 2,000, like $1,000 rod, and then just like all the rest of their accoutrements, like waders that they don't want to use, and like a boat, and it's just like they go fishing twice and then they lose interest and it just sits on their shelf and they call themselves a good fisherman because they went out fishing with somebody and he got a big fish and then it's like, oh, let's take a picture of with me carrying it, and he tells everybody like, yeah, look, I caught him and my friend was there too, but he was basically there to take pictures of me with a like fucking. You meet a lot of interesting people, and it's like one of those things where it's like new customers. Not really new customers, but like a customers are the most valuable thing you can have. Like reliable people. What's the old saying? Five new customers is worth one regular customer. I think that's true. Because like if you tie flies for somebody, he just gets all kind of diverse stuff. And you're like, oh, tie him an ant, tie him an egg, tie him a this, tie him a that. You could just like talk to these guys. He buys a woolly bugger. He buys like 10 woolly buggers for $15 or whatever. You could just talk to this guy like, hey man, yeah, I got this pocket tackle box. I had some little stuff that I didn't really feel comfortable selling because it's not up to my standards. I was just wondering if you want it. So you just basically tie your regular quality stuff, and then you put it in a little box. And he's like, hey, I got this pocket tackle box. I was just wondering if you want it. Get from me to you. It's just like that's $1 spent on materials and like 40, 50, $60 that he's gonna buy from you now because he knows that you're not in it to like you're not gonna try to like squeeze every dime out of him. If people realize that you're also like a lover of the art and you're just trying to make a little bit of money while doing something that you really like, then people will respect that and vibe with that and like feel that. Like I've done that more than once. Like people are dumbfounded when I spend $1. So people are dumbfounded when I spend $2 on shit and then give it to them for free because 90% of it's effort. It's all effort. It's almost all effort, very partially materials. People go to like fishing conventions. They're like, oh, this is this feather from a cassowary. It's the most I found the best feather from the most exotic bird, and then I buy this and that, and they're selling a shitty, off-color, woolly bugger for $20. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's so mind-bogglingly simple. Like a fish does not care whether it's probably better that it's a plastic feather and not an actual bird feather because like my eggs here because like you want something that like you can't replicate the flavor of a mayfly. You get like if there's like bird juice on the feather and it's I guess like into the water, if that's not going to attract the fish, it's going to like it's not doing anything. Why are you spending more money for something that doesn't work as well? Why are you spending more money? Why are you spending more money for something that works the same? Literally saying I wasted my money and my time, and now I want to be rewarded for it, and it works. Boomers, boomers were like, oh, you say this is a fucking from a fucking a weeping tweedlebird from the fucking fucking wherever it's Europe. Wow, that must be worth the money, is because they just see the biggest price tag and they're like, yep, that's the one. But yeah, like if you do small things for people, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go to work with like a case of pop, and I'm gonna walk into the between a couple cubicles, like, hey guys, there's pop in the fridge, anybody wants it. It's like, wow, I didn't do my work. Like I didn't do all the best things today. I didn't do the most. I didn't. Oh, I got everything done real quick, and I got there, fucking did this and did that, and I did all my p's and q's. It doesn't matter. Literally, just be nice. Give people things that they would be an asshole to ask you for, and don't give people things that they ask you for. I mean, or you don't feel obligated to, because of, like if everybody was like having a bad day at work and the AC's broken or whatever, just buy some pop and put it in the put it in the like the break room fridge and be like, hey guys. They'd be an asshole to ask you like, hey man, can you like get something for us? Cause like we, this or that. But if you just do that without being asked, without even anybody like suggesting it, you're top shelf. You instantly become the most valuable employee in like that for a cubicle spot because the boss like this is the thing, but people don't realize. I mean, people do realize this, and I'm fucking inside my own head like too much, and I think I'm the best thing ever, which I've got to fucking cut that out. People tell me I talk about myself too much. It's like fuck. I try not to relate things to myself directly. I'm trying to get better with that. God knows I'm a fucking piece of shit that thinks about things wrong all the time. But if you just do like small stuff, like weird interpersonal stuff, it works. Like just ask like, hey, I'm going to get a coffee. You want anything? To like your supervisor or your boss or whatever. Not your supervisor, because they don't actually have any power other than to make your life difficult. They're gonna think they get this weird supervisors in this weird spot of like promotion purgatory. Where if you're a supervisor, I don't know many supervisors that have gotten like promoted. I don't know many supervisors that are like, yeah, I was a supervisor for fucking 2 years, and then I move on up, and I'm a fucking manager. Supervisors are really bitter. Whenever you hear that title anywhere, you got to be careful, because if you try to give them a coffee or something, even if it's not to like butter their bread, you give them a coffee, or just give them a coffee, they'll be like, oh, this guy's trying to fucking get a leg up. He's trying to get away with doing less at work, and I gotta be able to bust his balls and tell the boss he's trying to bribe me, and fucking people are neurotic about their own success. It's a very if I can't have it, no one can type of mentality sometimes. Yeah, time flies. It's like anything. If you have fast hands and you're good, then you can get like a significant. And it's enjoyable too. Is the thing. It's just like oh yeah, you do your technique. It's like wood carving, except it's quick and it makes money and it's useful. I love hearing about the ways that people make money on the side. That's my moral of the story. Is that like people like I talk to people like, hey man, because you don't want to broach the subject like, what do you do for money other than your job? Because that's how you feel like a pompous cunt. Nobody likes that guy. Nobody's like, oh, by the way, I have a side hustle and you don't, and you're a fucking retard because of it. Nobody loves that guy, and his wife's gonna put brown glass in his food when he's old and kill him. The important thing is that, oh yeah. When you ask people like what they do in their spare time, that's always what I'm fishing for. That is always exactly what I'm fishing for. That's exactly what I want to hear is how they make money on the side. Not even because like I want to replicate it, but just because I want to reward. Like I want to like talk to them about it because there's too many people that do not do not treat their spare time as another way to make money, another avenue to make money, doing something that's like actually enjoyable. You know, like people just don't. Again, I'm just a guy. I don't know much. I don't know shit. But people like you talk to people who do time. It's like, oh, I smoke a lot of pot. It's like, really, dude? Wow, dude, you smoke pot? I'm amazed. I'm really impressed. It's like you smoke pot. You went to the movies. You binged your favorite series. Wow. You know, dude, I guess you are like really fucking cool. Actually, you are pretty fucking epic. Because you watch this and you have opinions on music, and now you're gonna tell me about your opinions on music and why my opinions on music are bad because I don't dedicate um, like an hour a day of my entire life of learning the right opinions on music. You know, I don't sit down and listen to 3 albums every day of the weekend, every weekend for my entire life, so I can bring up all the obscure artists. So like, you probably wouldn't know about them. You know, I actually fucking I try to do something with my time besides getting a trillion hours, getting a trillion hours on the Steam games. That too. I also love to do that, by the way. Hmm, Fuck, I'm gonna take a piss and take a smoke. You want to subconsciously like reward people for, like, I will talk to somebody about 4 hours if they have some good story about how they like want how they actually make money. Because you hear a lot, you hear like you tell a story about how you make money on the side, then they'll talk to me like, oh yeah, dude, I flipped this and I did that. And I fucking you hear the real. There's another thing about boomers, the real estate. It's like, yeah, dude, I made $50,000 in 4 months in 2004. It's like, I made $50,000 in 4 months in 2004. You fuck. My dog, my cat made $50,000 in 2004 in real estate. You motherfucker. You know what you should have done? You should have taken that $50,000 you made off your $150,000 buy house and sold it for 200,000. You should have taken that 200,000 and bought a $200,000 house. And then made $50,000 off of that and keep working until you're actually a fucking millionaire today and not sitting in front of a fucking deli chewing on a ham and cheese talking to some random guy that's just trying to get a fucking sandwich. I think that's what you should have done because you fucking cashed in on the most lucrative market that existed at the time, which you ruined, by the way. Thanks. The life of the boomer has been one continuous stream of here's a shitload of money for doing something innocuous. Oh, you bought a car because you could afford a car. When you bought a car when you were 16 years old from your burger flipping job, after working 5 months at your burger flipping job, and you bought a car. Okay, all you needed to do was not destroy that car, and now you can sell it for tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. You live in the golden age of automobiles. You live in the golden age of real estate. You live in the golden age of TV and toys and comic books, and you have the audacity to turn around and talk to me and say, "Oh, you fucking, you don't, when I was your age, I had da 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 da." Yeah, well, guess what? When I'm your age, I'll still be living in the world that you fucked. They took everything. They said, "Wow, I deserve this," and then they let go of none of it. Another world is fucking shambles because their generation pissed on everything, and they're like deluded too. The only old liberalism in itself is an interesting topic, but so is conservatism. Jesus, the old liberals are boomers. Like I know that's obvious, like by the time and place that I'm saying this, but like if you look forwards or backwards, the old liberals are going to be boomers. I guarantee it. Because they want to rebel against their parents who were all like strong, hardworking people that survived the two greatest conflicts that the world has ever fucking known. And they come out of that and they were conservative and they were this and that, and they want to do rebel against that and burn their draft card and smoke pot and be rebels and fucking yeah, I'm gonna resist the government by doing drugs. Fun facts, by the way, the whole doing drugs is an act of rebellions thing. That originated in the 60s when the CIA told bands like the Grateful Dead to promote drug use instead of actually, rebelling against the government. They literally said to boomers, like the previous what's the word, counterculture thing was to like, hey man, fuck the government, fuck the system, fuck this, fuck that, and then the government, the CIA asked nicely, like, hey guys, instead of saying things that are contrary to us, can you just like do a bunch of drugs and kill yourselves and ruin your mind? And boomers were like, yes sir, I can, thank you sir. Please kill more soldiers in foreign countries so we can bring in the heroin so I can kill myself, sir. I need more heroin. Thanks. It's going off the rails. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Like now, like boomers still think that they're fighting against the machine when they are the machine. So they'll still think they're sticking it to the man by fuck Blumph. Hi, I've blown every huge fucking jackpot worth of money I've been given in my entire life. Now I'm pissing around with my pension. Fuck Blumph. It's like, wow. Wow, did you just say fuck Blumph like every other single human being on the planet? You must be. Listen, you're really special. When I overthrow the government, I want you to be in charge of the new regime. You're really cool, dude. You say fuck Blumph on Twitter, dude? Holy fuck. Yeah, yeah. It's like the Black Lives Matter. It's like the Gay Pride. It's like all these companies talking about how like change their thing to rainbow colors. They're like, oh, Gay Pride. It's like, yeah, where were you in the '60s? Hey, fucking whatever fucking company, whichever company of choice, really, there's a buffet of them. All of them changed their profile pictures to, like rainbow flags. And it's like, hey guys, where are you in the '60s? Where are you like in the '70s? Where are you in the '90s, where gay marriage was still illegal everywhere? Where were you then? Were you putting rainbow ads out there? Were you saying that gay people are cool and deserve equal rights? Oh wait, no, no, you weren't. No, no, you were not, because it would hurt your bottom line because you don't actually care about being progressive. A business would not throw a bucket of water on a burning black gay man if it cost them a cent. But if the cameras were rolling, they would do it in a second because they know it would up their sales and up their stock prices. None of these fucking companies were talking about this in the '60s. None of these fucking companies were talking about this when there was segregation in schools. None of them cared. They still don't care, by the way. If like I'm not being clear about this, you're gonna stand here and say that you're fighting the regime, you're sticking it to the man when all of the corporations and all of the governments agree with you, and you as a rich liberal living in Canada, it's your problem when that guy gets elected to run Brazil and he's like conservative. Oh no, a man in another country has different opinions than me. How will I live? He's literally Blumph. Fuck, fuck Blumph. Watch this video. Watch it through and through. Watch the beginning. Watch the end. But just remember this. Fuck Blumph. If there's one thing that can get your people, the people that you support in office, it's typing hashtag Blumph racist 2020. That's real. You should do that, and it'll work. It's really crazy, man. Like, I typed in on twitter.com, I typed in fuck Blumph, and he fucking got impeached the next day. It was fucking insane, dude. I'm gonna do that more often. Boomers were never cool. There was never any point in history where boomers were like, yes, okay, we're cool now. Like if I was a time traveler, I would like if I listen. If you'd put me like I know there's a whole like Back to the Future like sports almanac thing, but like if you put me with my current mindset, not even any knowledge of what was gonna happen, you put me like 1963, I'd be a fucking billionaire today. There is so like before internet, it was so easy to make money before internet. Like you could make money off of land. Like you could just jump around and fuck with land and make shitloads of money. People like my favorite is when boomers talk to me and they're like, "Yeah, when I my you get making $15 minimum wage. If when I was a fucking 14-year-old kid in 1960 or 1970 fucking fuck, I was making 2.95 an hour." It's like, yeah, well, I just put that in the old calculator here, and it says that's $18 an hour. You're making $18 an hour on a entry level job for a 14-year-old, and you're like flipping a sign for $18 an hour. That's like U.S. The calculator I use is U.S., which means it's actually like it's 2.95 U.S. to Canadian now. It's probably be like $21. Imagine working $21 minimum wage, first job ever, 14 years old. I'd have 100, like, I'd have so much money. I know it's easy to say like, oh, I'd have so much money if I was just fucking this and that. But I mean, I guess if I had been brainwashed that hard, like brainwashing doesn't exist unless it's mass brainwashing, like what advertising does to you. Like there's no one-on-one, like the CIA puts the things on your brain and go bzzz, and then you think, then you hear the MK Ultra safe word and you pee your pants or whatever. Like if I had been conditioned like that, I knew I would have blown all that money. Like it's literally the idiot box generation. The generation of let's sit in front of the TV and buy what it tells us to. And now like all the guys that I know that are like under the age of 25 don't even watch TV. Nobody watches TV. None of my dudes watch TV. They're on the internet. They're looking at what they want to look at. There's no fucking ads. Got to be competitive. TV's dying. My parents watch it. I like to keep it on for background noise, but if it stops working, I'll just turn the TV off and listen to a podcast. It's the same thing. It's literally like podcasts are better than TV, except you get 5 minutes of ads or 0 minutes of ads instead of like 15 minutes of ads per hour. 16. There is 16 minutes of commercial time for every hour of TV you watch. That's 4 minutes every 15 minutes. Have your girlfriend jerk you off for 3 minutes, and then you just spend a minute slapping you in the face. Okay, you know what? You're probably into that. Fuck me. Never mind. Just spend like a minute spraying you down with cold water. Would you come? No, you wouldn't. You would never come. That's why podcasts are so good, because you should jerk me off all the time. No, fuck me, Jesus. Um, it's like fuck. I'm swearing too much. The fuck meter's going off. The swearo meter is going off. You swear too much, it's not as funny. People apparently were amazed. Like I've heard a lot of stories of comedians like I didn't even know about the fuck meter. It was like this huge thing I was totally missing out on. It's like intuitive. It's intuitive. It makes sense. Nobody needed to tell me that. I think boomers are just like the way you grow up is so critical to the way your brain functions for the other 80 years of your life. Like your first 20 years are the most important. My entire generation cannot read fiction unless it's absolutely horribly written. Like my entire generation has learned to scan Wikipedia pages for proper nouns and dates and like names. I look at a 5,000 page article and I see 7 sentences and 5 dates and 4 names. And I'm like, all right, beep 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 beep. Okay, there's my paper done. Nice. Next page. See what I bookmark? Okay, I bookmarked that. I got to click in there, bookmark that, and read these names, read those dates, and write those down too. It's relevant. I only read nonfiction books. Like I read fiction very sparingly when it's like a classic, when it's like a big, huge thing that you need to read to have to understand something. But I tend to read nonfiction for that reason because I can look at two open pages in front of me and then pick out like 7 things that are important and then flip over. My entire generation is like that because, like I said, we grew up in the age of Wikipedia papers. Boomers grew up watching, like I said, Idiot Box, watching the TV. No choice over what was on because there was like 4 channels, and then there was a billion because of them. But it was basically like sit in front of TV and oh, there's a commercial. Oh, there's a commercial for the toy on. Oh, I gotta ask my parents for that toy, and the fucking economy means they're gonna buy me a bunch, and I'm gonna destroy it. And then they get an ad for a car, and they're like, oh fuck, I mean, I've been flipping burgers for 4 months. Oh, I have enough money to buy a fucking car. At 15 years old, 16, 17, 18 years old. Yeah, I'll fix it up myself, and I'll buy a brand new one, and I'll fucking do this or do that, and I'll buy a house by 21 and move in with my high school sweetheart, because women just can't get dick. Women can't get a factory production line of dick straight into their open legs 24 hours a day. Like you've seen the whole the whole across history hard times create good men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. It's like that. It's that to 1,000. Like the whole shit show of like World War I, Great Depression, World War II, like Cold War, or I guess World War II at least. World War I, Great Depression, World War II. That whole shit stain on history that was hard on everybody that went through it. You know, you lose your brothers, and then You make no money and you're poor and you starve and you're starving and you have no job and then you lose your sons too. That rock solid generation created times that were so good that the next 30 years worth of people were absolutely fucking shit. Oh my god, boomers, they'll just buy things. They just buy things. They just look at what I want. It's amazing. They don't understand the world they're in. They don't understand that it's not the same as when they grew up. They don't need to because it's so soft for them. Like in America, you have Social Security, right? You're probably not going to see you as a guy that's under 30. You're probably not going to be able to see your Social Security because the system's going to fucking collapse. You pay it anyway. You pay that. You're gonna pay that, and it's gonna crap out when you're 45. You're just like, well, what about my government pension? And the government's go, fuck off, because they spent it all on boomers. It's like the California syndrome, but it's an entire generation instead of just a region of people. It's like they vote for things that makes life worse, and then they move. But boomers, they vote for things that make life worse, but they're too old to be affected by 90% of it. So it just affects the younger kids. It's like they vote on making the people beneath them worse, their lives worse. The meter's ringing. Jesus, I'm gonna profit off a ridiculously high fucking economic boom, and then I'm gonna change the laws when I'm old and I have money and can lobby and shit. And I'm gonna make it more difficult to do that because I am a business owner now. Because like my dad actually did work and I just got his business. That argument works sometimes, but not all the times. Like you see people like, oh, Trump is only rich because he got a small loan of $1 million. Yeah, right. It's like you, dude. He turned $1 million into $1 billion. You couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. You have to be like a normal person the age that he was when he got that could not do that. You need to be a seriously shrewd, intelligent, connected. That's one thing. I can give you that. He was connected. Okay, he had the Trump name. He was connected. You couldn't do that. Even if you were connected to that and you had $1 million, you could not turn it into $1 billion. It's 100,000% return on investment. You could not do that. Like I said, boomers and their grandkids, some of which agree with them. A lot of young people now are actually swinging the conservative way, which is, I don't know. I like it better. I don't like going I wouldn't call myself conservative or liberal because it's just like, where are you on the line of it's like, where are you on the scale? Where are you on this one-dimensional thing that's literally just a line? Where are you on the special line? Are you right or left? Are you A or B? Are you pro-war and social policies, or are you pro-war and economic policies? None of this matters. Like conservatives are liberals that are economically conservative, and liberals are liberals that are economically liberal. Everything's getting worse. Like you have all these liberal college and university students in the states supporting Joe Biden because fuck Blump, fuck Blump. Like Joe Biden is the reason that these people will be in debt until they're 45, which I think is hilarious, absolutely hilarious. He's the one that spearheaded that campaign to make student loans exempt from bankruptcy claims. So the guy that they're supporting is a racist. He talks about segregation in like the 70s, saying like segregation is a good thing because he didn't want his kids to grow up in a racial jungle. Fuck off. This like dementia-riddled old like evil bastard is the guy that they're voting for, even though he's fucking them. He. It's not even like, oh, he was part of the team and he was the assistant to the guy that supported the senator who he was the one. Like he was the one. He's the reason that these kids are going to be in debt forever with student loans. Even if when they're broke, they're going to be still needing to pay. They just don't have memory. Like they want to they like they. This is something that all people do is where they don't want people that they don't like to be good at anything, or they want to be better than them, even if when it's something that they're good at. Like I said with the Trump thing. It's like you can attack him for being racist. You can attack him for being an asshat. You can attack him for this and that. You can attack him for his appearance. You can't attack him on business. You cannot get him on that because he turned $1 million into $1 billion. Okay, you couldn't do that. That's the one thing you can't attack him on. People want to be like, talking to a music producer. It's like, oh, you're not even a good producer. people like talking to anybody, talking to any kind of a specialist occupation. It's like, oh, you're not even X. There's like even a social role. Like, oh, you're not even a good father. You're not even a good, fucking punk. You're not even a good liberal. It's like the one thing that people are good at. When they hear somebody saying, "Oh, you're not even a good," that one thing that you're good at, that one thing that you've proven time and time again you're good at, you're not good at it because I say so. That does nothing. Like if you're talking to somebody, if you're talking to like uh, if you're dating a chick and she like does some weird shit and you gotta like break it off, and then your last message to her before you block her and everything, you email her with a big paragraph, and at the end you're like, "You're not even a good tomboy." Then that says nothing. Like that's just saying like, oh, that with one line you've thrown out everything you've said so far. Good job, dude. You did it. You really did it. Very impressive. Very nice. Love you, dude. You you've proven that you're full of shit because you attacked them for the one thing that we all know that they're good at. Like, oh, Trump, this, that. He's good at business. Well, Hillary Clinton, you're not even a good pedophilic Satan child molester. Most people think Pizzagate isn't real, which is fucking mind-boggling. Fucking Podesta rapes kid.mp3. Like fucking Miranda and Joe, 12 and 13 will be in the pool. So there's that. Like, fuck off. Read the emails. Unironically, read the emails. People talk about the emails. Read the emails. Everybody that's a politician is evil. So don't say I'm displaying bias here. But like, this is evil that's not being called out. It's all evil that's not being called out. Military industrial complex. Or should I say the congressional military industrial complex? That was the version of it that was in the first draft of that speech. I think it's very important to realize. He just didn't want to say that. He didn't want to say congressional military and industrial complex because that's like a direct attack on Congress. It's like a direct like, hey, by the way, guys, Congress is fucking you. That's too far. Like he couldn't have done that. Like even that he was leaving office, I think he would have been fucking killed. He had to make it vague so that it would sit and he would be able to say it without getting like shot by the fucking Ghislaine Maxwell. Better fucking name names. Or paper sheets and paper clothes. I wonder how those cameras are doing. I wonder how those 200 cameras that all failed at the same time are doing. I wonder how that guy named Jail, the temp guard named Jail. I wonder how he's doing. I wonder where he is now. I wonder where the audio of Epstein screaming from his cell went. I wonder where that is right now. I saw this bit. It was really fucking funny. It was like Ghislaine Maxwell's new cell is covered in plastic and the door's unlocked. So it was something like that. Anyway, they're this bad at covering it up, and if you question it, you're a Nazi. There's this thing on Twitter called I hate Twitter, but it's like a fucking it's like going over to somebody's house and they're just a total failure, and like you hang out in their basement and they're like their mother comes down to like offer you tendies or whatever. It's just a fun show to watch because there used to be this thing called Racism Watchdog. Whereas, like, I would reply to Woof Woof for things that were supposedly racist. And of course, it was run by two liberal dickweed men. So they ended up fighting with each other, and then the whole thing went to shit because they would woof at each other, and it was like, oh no, the retards are angry at each other and they're using their fake. Anyway, it spawned a bunch of clones that don't really quite get the spirit of the whole, dog watchdog dichotomy. My favorite is anti-Semitism cow. That really rolls off the tongue. It moves to all of the stuff that's like, oh, Ghislaine Maxwell, hopefully we'll name names in the Hollywood, sex scandal ring, abusing women. And it's like, moo, 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 moo. And it's like, wow, dude. I guarantee, listen, I don't want to say nothing bad, but I guarantee you that account is ran by a certain... Anyway, this is the thing about the whole anti-Semitism cries, is that somebody was like tweeting at one of the Rothschilds that was on Twitter. They were saying like, "Hey, you're like rich and like part of the 1%, right?" And then he was like, "Anti-Semitism," in his reply, and it's like, "Wow, dude, people that think that liberals that think that everything about the 1% is like calling out Jewish people, which technically is, I mean, like 40%. Anyway, they're like, "Wow, that's moo moo, look," and it's like the old story where like the detective walks into the cabin with four people and he's like, all right, he was shot by somebody in this room, and immediately one of the guys jumps out of his bed like, how could you accuse me of such a thing? I would never shoot him. I'm so furious that you would question me of all people and to say that I did it. It's like, isn't it weird that when we mention evil overlords, that all of the Jewish people are saying stop attacking me? That's kind of a that interesting connection. It's the same thing that when you talk about like something about something that doesn't mention race at all, and then all the people are like, "Oh, I can't believe you meant this about black people. It's so racist." It's like, really? When I said that somebody was acting like a monkey, you immediately jumped to black people? I think it's kind of weird that you have that association in your head, dude. I think it's kind of weird that when I say the word monkey, you think of a black person. I think that's kind of strange. Mr. Liberal, 5'3" stubbles with thick frame glasses and short hair, white guy, like Saul Goldman. Hmm. It's really weird that when I say something, you immediately try to think of the worst possible thing I could have meant by that. It's kind of weird that your brain ties, black people to the word monkey, or Jewish people to the word 1%, or women to the word workplace inequality, or bad cop, or lazy cop, or this or that. And it's just like, it's really, really fascinating that you have all these connections in your brain. Fuck. I gotta stay. Like, I made so many mistakes. Like, you hear that old saying, like, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I made so many mistakes who I made my friends with. Like, I got really, like, happy with this one guy. Like he was like the first person that ever like sang to me, and it was like good. And he played his guitar for me, and I was like, wow. I was just dumbstruck that somebody would be capable of showing this warmness to me. And he said he was an anarcho-communist. It's like, holy shit. That's as retarded of a philosophy as you could get. That's almost as bad as like anarcho-primitivist. I'd say anarcho-primitivist. Like, if somebody said they were anarcho-primitivist, I'd immediately think that we were joking and like play along and be like, ah, you. But I talked to this guy about 8 hours about his beliefs, and then like we were alone when I talked about his beliefs. And as soon as we were with his friends, and he was talking about how some random thing was this Marxist scheme, I said he was talking about like how people were like, "Oh, this guy's all right." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean by that?" It was kind of like "Oh, what do you mean by all right? Free speech?" Um, it was like a joke. Anyway, he immediately freaked out because I quote unquote put him on the spot, and that perfectly put it into view for me. It's like, oh, these people will spout their bullshit for 8 hours when you're alone, but as soon as they're with their friends, they don't want to be questioned at all. Their word is supreme, and if you say anything bad about them, they're gonna freak out. Or even if you question them, they're gonna freak out because you put them on the spot. It's like oh, I had to defend my ideas in a public forum. What? What? Oh, I thought I could just say ridiculous shit all the time and nobody would. This is oh this is fascism. He freaked out and had a really bad reaction, and I talked him down. And then after that, for the next 8 hours, I aged 5 years. I swear to fucking God. Like, I felt so terrible about everything. I felt stressed and shitty, and then that's like the next morning I just texted him like, hey, don't, like, I appreciate that you wanted to give me, like, I appreciate that you, like, didn't, like, just freak out and block me and everything. Thanks. But, like, you're really not the kind of person I want to be friends with. I'm sorry. Don't contact me again. That's the key, by the way. Keep it concise, keep it polite. Do not give people a second or third chance. Like, as soon as somebody is cagey on being held responsible for basic shit, as soon as somebody like starts ranting for 45 minutes, and then you say like, well, what, and then they freak out because you quote unquote put them on the spot. That's immediately when you realize that this person has no responsibility in their life and you need to leave. Because I cannot imagine the kind of state I would be in if I didn't block him. Like, if I didn't block him on everything and I just cut this person out of my life entirely and all of his friends and all of that, and I left the servers, just out. Cash out. Doesn't matter if he had a hot sister or a hot friend that you wanted to fuck. None of that matters. Doesn't matter if she's hot or whatever. You get a toxic person in your life like that causes you stress, just cash out. Out. Immediately. No good can come from it. At least no good that will outweigh the bad that can come from it. Cash out. Nobody can change. Nobody's going to change for you. You can try as hard as you like. Nobody, you're not cool enough to make somebody change. Nobody's gonna change who they are for you because they're not. They want to hang out with you, so they're gonna change their ways because you're so fucking cool, and they're gonna be doing it for you and making themselves a better person, and you'll be this great guy, and everybody will love. No, nobody's that cool. Nobody's that cool. Nobody's that charismatic. Nobody's that smart. And if you are, you're a psychopath, and I don't want to. I don't want to hang out with you. He did a lot of things that should have been red flags. I mean, red flags are kind of a thing because it's like if you see a bunch of warning signs, you go, oh no, this person's a this or that. Then you become a liberal that freaks out about things, and the old intolerant left meme. But like he was into like BDSM shit, and he wore it out in public with his friends that were not like even affiliated with that at all. Like his name was like on Discord, it was like Puppy or something, and he like wanted people to call him that because he got off on imagining being like tied up and drug around like an animal. Like that's the level you hold yourself to is like, yeah, I want to be treated like an animal. I want to be treated like a fucking dog that's ordered around. That's the level of responsibility I want in my life. That's what I put my first foot forward. That's how I introduce myself to people. That you need to leave. You need to leave immediately if somebody says that. Like he would say retarded shit, and I thought he was just this. You thought he was one of those autistic machine brain guys that I would really get along with. Like every time I joined the server, he'd go poopy. It's like, wow, dude, this guy might be a little bit interesting. And some of my best guys are people like that. People that are real simple, like real, like mechanically minded, and they kind of like don't get. They have like a social like glitch. They have a social ineptitude, social irregularities. Some of my best guys are like that. I mean friends. It's a slang. It's a slang where I live. Your friends are your guys. You know, some of my best guys are like that. But when you get that and it's tied into political, it's tied into somebody that's also political and also extremely fetishistic. That's like the trifecta of cringe. Like when somebody is extremely political but they're socially, well kempt and they're not pervert, then that's somebody I can hang out with. Like I can hang out with somebody that's like organized and charismatic with their thoughts. I can hang out with somebody that's likable if they're like a heroin addict that hates Jews. I can do that. It's the same thing with autistic guys. Like if you're an autistic guy but you're not political and you're not fetishistic, you're not a perv, then like I'll hang out with you all day, bro. You're one of my favorite kinds of people. I want to talk to you. I want to get into your head. I want to you deserve more than what you get. And if you're a pervert and nothing else, listen. I'm a degenerate. I have a fucking problem with libido. I understand. And I want to hang out with you still. I want to I'm okay with that. I want to explore. I want to hear about what it is that makes you tick. I want to hear about that. Maybe, if I'm feeling particularly weak-willed, something's going to happen. Anyway, not important. What is important is that when you get two of those things, like you get autistic political people, it's like you're on the fence for me. Because I know autistic political people that are like just not good, but they're cool guys, and if you talk to them or something that's like one of their special interests instead of politics, it's like fun. It's like, hey man, let's talk about trains, let's talk about guns, let's talk about whatever. Like as soon as they start talking about like the police, you got to check out, you got to change the conversation. Like it's like I saw this thing once. It was like as soon as somebody starts talking about like what they think about elections, you should like, yeah man, it's like shit. I mean I know we agree on that. Anyway, I was looking at the news the other day about this thing in Uruguay, and it's like literally just skate along as fast as possible out of that conversation. No benefit can talk to you about talking to your friends about politics. Either you're going to disagree and drive your friend away, or you're going to agree and reinforce your opinions with maybe stupid. Like there's no winning by talking about politics. Very few people want to actually go through a rigorous discussion about what's the best and what's logically this or that. But when you hit the trifecta of perverted political autist, that's when you need. Those are the kinds of people that you just cannot give a second chance or even a first chance. Those are the kind of people that it'll hurt you to have them in your life. Somebody that wants to be addressed primarily by their fetish designation. Okay, that's like that's huge pervert. Big check plus on the pervert category. Somebody that is anarcho anything or communist anything. Another huge test another huge check mark on the political box. And like autistic people, when you join them, and every time they make a same poop joke, and they're like a 23-year-old educated person, and you know that they at least have two brain cells to rub together theoretically, then that's another red flag. And when they think poopy, they think that's like funny for the 7 billionth time. They think that's okay. It's like, oh, how, dude, you said poopy again? You know, definitely got some kind of Asperger's going on. It's when you get all three of those things together, you got to check out immediately. I guarantee you, if you were to look back on your life, you'd see at least one person like that you did recognize it and you checked out and you profited from it. I cannot imagine what my life would have been if I did not check out. Like I'd be stressed. I think about how many 70-year-old guys are dying of all this different shit, and they think it's because bad genetics, but it's actually because they married a crazy bitch and they've been hanging out with her every day for the past 50 years. And it's like it takes a toll on your health. Don't date hot chicks. Date decent. Don't go past good-looking chicks, okay? Don't date hot chicks. It's gonna create a problem for you if you're like big. I'm like big, and I was pretty meaty at 11th grade. I was pretty like a big bruiser type, and I'm tall too. It was like that shit, absolute worst mistake you could have made. I could have made. When you're tall, guys see you as a rival already, even if you don't even like want to acknowledge their existence. But when you're dating a hot chick and you're tall, like people talk to you with so much apprehension. If they were any more apprehensive, they just have their fists up. It's that level. It's like imagine everybody walking up to you with their fists raised, and they're like fist clench. That's what it's like. Like okay, date a hot chick if you want something that's like 12% better for 3 times the price over a good-looking chick. You know, date an ugly chick. Definitely best move ever made. Ugly chicks, psh, nobody likes them. Big tits, yes. Make her with a brown paper bag. honey, I'm horny. Quick, get the bag. Quick, get the pillow sack, honey. You want to tie it around your neck and tighten it real tight. And fuck you. Look at your big tits. Ugh. Ugly chicks, big tits. Remember that. Remember that. Ah, God. Yeah, don't date hot chicks. It's like I was dating this chick in 11th grade, and it was like I had back pain, and I assumed it because it was growing, because I was having crazy growth spurts. I'm like 6'4", like 6'4" now, at 8 and 19. I thought I had this crazy back pain because I was having growth spurts. And as soon as I broke it off, as soon as I was just like, hey, it's like not working. I want to fuck other people, and you're like, you're doing this, you're doing that. As soon as I broke it off, my back stopped hurting. Like the day of, I slept in a weird position. I woke up and I realized what I had done, and I cracked my back, and I felt so good. Like your body will tell you when things are wrong. A famous guy once said that. God, I'm gonna tap around on YouTube and look it up. A famous, I think Asian guy once said that. You need to listen to your body knows more than you do. Always, 100% of the time, because your body reacts the same way to information that you know consciously as the information you know subconsciously. Except you can only logically act on information you know consciously. So you act on what your body knows. That's what people say that I'm going by my gut. That means that they noticed something and it went into the computer of their brains, and they don't know it on a conscious level, but like they know it on a subconscious level, and they're reacting. So they go with their gut, and they actually use the full set of information that they have. Yukio Mishima. That's the one. Here's the quote. Words are a medium that reduces reality to abstraction for transmission to our reason, and in their power, corrode reality inevitably lurks the danger that words themselves will be corroded too. What he's saying there is that when you break things down to their like .txt description information, that you're not getting the full picture. Like I said, your body knows more than you do. When you break things down into words and you just work logically off of the words that you know, you're not getting the full picture. Your body knows more than you do. When you're tying it with somebody that's really fucking bad for you and stresses you out, your body's gonna tell you somehow. Okay, I know a guy that has deadbeat fucking friends that don't listen to him and disrespect him and do this and that, and he's like, I don't know what's going on, dude. I can't lose the weight. I can't lose the weight, man. I'm sleeping right. I mean, my sleep is shit, but I'm trying to sleep right. I'm trying to eat right. I'm working out. I can't lose the weight. I don't know what's going on. I always lose my will, and I do cheat day, and I do another cheat day. It's like, it's your fucking friends. It is your friends. It is the people you're hanging out with. It's the crazy toxic people that are taking years off your life. Words are a medium that reduces reality. That's the key. Words. If I was a journalist and I wanted to clip that down into 3 words with a bunch of ellipses in between, so I can make people say some things that are not. But in this case, representative. Words reduce reality. You need to listen to the wisdom of your body. Your body does not speak in words; it speaks in feelings. When you hang out with, when you like, some people joke about the reaction. I joke about the reaction a lot. Like somebody will mention somebody, I'll grab my side and I'll go, oh, that's a joke. Like the joke of mentioning somebody's name will give you a pain on your side. That literally happens to people and they don't realize it. Like being sad and stressed reduces your lifespan. It literally makes you die sooner. Cancer is affected by, I mean, everything causes cancer, right? But being stressed causes cancer. Anything that causes cancer that you can avoid, other than red meat, you fuck, you should avoid. In conclusion, you're not cool enough to change who they are. You're not slick enough. You're just not. Cut toxic people out of your life. Cut irrational people that don't want to accept responsibility out of your life. Uh, don't listen to boomers. Don't listen to people that don't have the same experiences as you. Boomers cannot hold their own. Boomers may be successful and they may be wealthy, but they cannot hold their own in the real world as it stands today. The same thing like toxic, leeching people. You do not want to hang out with anybody that cannot hold their own. You don't want to talk about anybody who you talk about how they make money on the side and they say, I went on a vacation to Miami. Get check out. Get up from the table, cash in your chips, fucking leave. Those people kill you. Like when you're hanging out with, like I hear this a lot. I have a couple of friend groups that I'm in where it's like what 3 guys they just hang out and they do fuck all. They do the stereotypical like smoke weed and hang out in town and date like high school girls. Real dirtbag like trash thing to do. And then one of the guys in the group like goes to university or is trying to do this or that or like does something and then goes to hang out with us again. And then like that my friend that's the stoner is like cold to them. And they're talking to me like, I don't know what's the matter with him. Like he doesn't seem like me anymore, dude. Like I don't know what changed. I don't know if we're just growing apart or what. It's like, well, yeah, this is what growing apart is that you're being a better person than he is, and it makes him uncomfortable because he likes to hang out and date high school students because high school students are not as developed. They're even like a year behind is huge when you're a teenager. A year behind or ahead is huge when you're a teenager. He likes to date people that are 2 or 3 years behind him because he cannot hold his own with people our age. I'm going to college, you're going to university, dude. He doesn't like us because we're too high speed for him. He wants to hear that we're smoking weed and doing nothing but getting fired from our jobs. That's what he wants to hear. That's what would stroke his ego and say, yeah, my friends are still like me and I'm good. Instead, he sees that we're moving on with our lives and he's scared because he's a weak man. He wants to stay in high school, so he dates high school kids and hangs out with their friends like it's real. Like, hey, I wish I could stay in touch with those guys because I'd talk about like, hey, dude, remember that time, remember that fucking time when some 23-year-old dirtbag started dating your 17-year-old sister and you wanted to fucking kill him? That's you now. That's what you do. That's you. Congratulations, you've become that guy. You're just as fucking scummy. God, I got people on the list. I got people on the list from that. The people that know me will know what the list is. I got people on the list from that. People on the fucking list, my friends. Fuck. Man, you're on the list, you're on the last page. That's not a good spot for you to be. Especially when you're a fucking dirtbag that never moves or does anything. Easy. 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 Anyway, toxic people will kill you. They will suck you dry if you are generous. I'm not saying, like spit on everybody and don't trust anybody and never give out handouts and never smile and never do this, never be kind. I touched on being kind for no reason earlier. Being kind for no reason because it'll help you. Like being kind for no reason is a good thing on its own. Like if you buy somebody a coffee, don't expect them to send a good word in with the boss, or if you buy the boss a coffee, don't expect them to promote you. Buying them a coffee in and of itself is a good thing that you should feel good about doing. You should not feel good about supporting toxic people. If this guy's like a fucking heroin addict and he's like, oh bro, I just need $200 for this car thing. If I can't get my car together, I gotta go to I can't work without my car. If you give him that money and it all goes up his arm, you cannot feel good about that. You cannot feel good about that generous act. You don't get to. You have to feel bad about wasting your money and trusting a dirtbag. Cut toxic people out of your life. And also make money on the side and don't be a dirtbag. People that don't make money on the side. People that have no intention of making more money than they're making now are not worth your time. Fuck. End post.